the Toronto Maple Leafs making it official about 10 minutes ago, Frank. They have agreed to terms with William Nylander on a historic deal, a franchise record contract for William Nylander, $92 million. And as you noted, Frank, $69 million of that coming in the way of a signing bonus as well. So Nylander gets full trade protection with the no move and no trade clause. He gets a ton of signing bonus money as well. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, they get to keep the core four locked together for a few more seasons.
Yeah, till 2032 for William Nylander, the longest of any Leaf. The first one in that group outside of John Tavares to really take the plunge and go for the full 8 years. Kind of hard to say no when someone's offering you $92 million and structured almost exactly the way that you want it. So this is a huge moment for the Leafs. And, you know, I look at it and I say, on the one hand, I understand why you want to keep the player. He's been such a special player this season. But on the other hand, I think that the Leafs have bought with William Nylander at the exact top of market and top of market for Nylander's game. If you look at the salary cap rankings for next season and where the Toronto Maple Leafs slot into that picture, William Nylander is going to be tied for the 5th highest salary cap hit in the NHL next season at 11.5. And you've got 4 guys on the Toronto Maple Leafs inside the top 10. Nylander's been unreal this year. Last year, he had a great season, finished 20th in league scoring. But if you were to draft the players in the NHL, and we see, you know, Nylander check in $250,000 more per year on the salary cap hit over David Pastrnak, so he gets an additional $2 million. No issue with the player getting paid. My question is, if you were to draft the players in the league, where would William Nylander go? It certainly wouldn't. He wouldn't be the 5th player taken. And so I get what the Leafs are up against and trying to have to pay market price in order to keep the player, and it beats the alternative of having him walk for nothing. I just think that this is a deal that, you know, in 5 years' time, it's still going to be top of market in terms of what his production is relative to that. You're never going to have a moment with William Nylander on this contract where I think you're getting surplus value. And that's the tough part for the Toronto Maple Leafs to figure out, as they're building out the rest of their team.
Well, Frank, if we're being honest here, has this Leafs organization won a single one of these negotiations with their stars? I mean, Mitch Marner, you paid market value and walked him right to unrestricted free agency, which is what he would have wanted with Austin. The first time you paid top dollar and you walked him to unrestricted free agency. Even this last deal with Matthews, you couldn't get him to an 8-year term, even though you make him the highest paid player in the NHL. And this Nylander one, like, if I was in that seat, if I was Brad Treliving and you said it's 11.5 or you let him walk, I take the 11.5. I don't hate the deal at all, but they haven't won a single one of these contracts. And you could probably lump Morgan Riley in there as well.
Yeah, there's just no surplus value to be had anywhere. You're having to find it on the margins, which is really tough to do in a league that I think at times is certainly watered down in terms of the overall talent. And that's really the tough part of where the Leafs are at. Right now, it doesn't really hurt their salary cap structure. They're basically handing all $4.5 million of the projected salary cap increase and putting it in William Nylander's pocket, which is fine. He's deserved it. They have to get through 1 year, one more year of John Tavares at $11 million before you can try and convince him to stay on a hometown discount. They've got TJ Brody coming off the books, Max Domi, go through the list, Tyler Bertuzzi. They can find a way to ice a really competitive team next year. But until this team is better balanced out, and we've got a lot to figure out at this deadline with Brad Treliving in terms of how he reshapes and conducts some surgery on this defense core. You could have some money coming over from Ilya Samsonov. If you move him, you have the money from John Klingberg to go out and spend. They needed to get this Nylander one done first to then figure out if they might be able to go out and acquire a defenseman that has some term to know what their salary cap picture looks like. I understand the prioritization. All I'm saying is, moving forward, I don't know right now today that the Leafs are any closer to being a cup contender.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.